Duncan and the special train. It had been a hot spring day on the island of Sodor. All of the engines were working really hard, delivering all their goods, passengers, and freight to their destinations on time. However, on the Skarloey Railway, all the engines were working hard as well. Skarloey, Reneus, and Peter Sam were delivering all their goods and passengers as well. But no matter what the weather, rain, shine, or snow, the engines work hard to get their jobs done, no matter rain nor shine. One morning at the wharf, Skarloey, Reneus, Peter Sam, and Duncan were there, waiting for Mr. Percival. "Ugh, I wonder what Mr. Percival is going to tell us," said Duncan. "I'm sure it's going to be something special," said Peter Sam excitedly. Skarloey and Reneus both laughed. "Oh, you two, I'm sure it's going to be something about another visitor. After all, I got to take this special visitor not too long ago to visit our railway," Skarloey said. Reneus just rolled his eyes. "Oh, Skarloey, I'm still a little jealous you got to take the visitor," Reneus said. But they soon found out. Mr. Percival was smiling. "Ah, Skarloey, Reneus, Peter, Sam, and Duncan, I have very exciting news to tell you." Duncan was very excited. "Oh, what is it, sir?" Duncan said excitedly. "Hold on, Duncan. I know how excited you are about this one. Now, tomorrow is my birthday," Mr. Percival proudly announced. "I'm going to be having a party in the picnic area tomorrow. And whatever engine finishes all your jobs on time in a timely manner, you'll get to take the birthday train. But only one engine will be chosen for this job," Mr. Percival said. That's when Mr. Percival gave Skarloey, Reneus, Peter, Sam, and Duncan their jobs, and then he left. "A birthday train?" Skarloey said excitedly. I do wonder which one of you guys will get to take it," Skarloey said. "That's gonna be me," said Reneus. Duncan grinned. "Ugh, I'm a plain-speaking engine. I should be the one to take that birthday train tomorrow," Duncan said. Peter, Sam, and Reneus laughed. "Ha! You, Duncan, you being the one to take the party train? You're a bit grumpy," Peter Sam joked. "Yeah," added Reneus. "After all, you were the one that got stuck in that tunnel not that long ago, when you were trying to take home your passengers. Not to mention that you rocked and rolled off the rails one time, making your passengers having to put you back onto the rails. So I don't know why you should be the one to take the party train, Duncan. No offense," said Reneus. Duncan groaned. "Ugh, you two. That was a long time ago. And besides, I heard about Skarloey doing a great job with the special visitor. If he could take the special visitor, I should be the one to take that special party train," Duncan groaned crossly. "And I'm a plain-speaking engine," he added, as Duncan puffed on his way to the transfer yards to collect some trucks. Peter Sam was a bit worried for Duncan. "Oh, knowing Duncan, he's probably going to land himself into trouble," he said. Reneus agreed. Yeah, Peter Sam, he is most definitely going to get himself into trouble. But let's not worry about that. We have work to do," Reneus said, as Peter Sam and Reneus puffed on their way to go and start off their work. Duncan was making his way to the transfer yards to go and shunt his line of trucks to help out James. But Duncan still couldn't stop thinking about what Peter Sam and Reneus said to him. "They think I'm a grumpy engine. I'll show them. I'll show them what I'm truly made of," Duncan said. "Come on, Duncan, we mustn't be late," said his driver, as Duncan made his way to the transfer yards. At the transfer yards, there was hustle and bustle. More goods trains had to be taken to different engines, some of which were going onto James's train. Others Thomas had to collect. That's when James puffed in. He waited patiently for Duncan. James waited patiently for Duncan. He waited and waited till he decided he had waited long enough. Ugh, where is that engine? I have to take some of this flour to Sir Topham Hatt, and I must not be late. Ugh, and it's going to ruin my splendid paintwork too, James said. Now, said his driver. We're waiting patiently for Duncan. James's driver said to James. Oh, I suppose you're right, driver, James said. However, as James was waiting patiently for Duncan, Duncan came in. Duncan, however, wasn't controlling himself. He couldn't stop thinking still about what Peter, Sam, and Rheneas had told him. When there was trouble, Duncan let his anger get the best of him. Ugh, Peter, Sam, and Rheneas, I'll show you. I'll get to take that train first thing tomorrow. As Duncan pushed forward, and it was too late. All the flour spilled everywhere, especially on James. Uh-oh, Duncan said. Luckily, no one had been hurt, but James was very cross. Duncan, look what you did to my paintwork, he said. And that flour was for Sir Topham Hatt, James said crossly. Oops, sorry, Duncan said. That's when the yard manager came out. He was very cross with Duncan. Duncan, what is the meaning of this? This has caused serious confusion and delay. I'm going to let Mr. Percival know about this. Duncan felt rather silly and foolish. I'm sorry, sir. It's just Peter, Sam, and Rheneas. They were teasing me, and I didn't let my anger get the best of me. Sorry, sir. Well, sorry isn't going to cut it, Duncan, he said. Mr. Percival will find out, he said crossly to Duncan. That's when, that night at the narrow gauge sheds, Skarloey and Rheneas had both finished their work and were resting peacefully when Mr. Percival came to see Duncan and Peter Sam. Peter Sam, I am very proud of you. You've finished all your jobs in a timely manner, and as a special treat, since there was no confusion and delay with your work, you'll get to take the special birthday train tomorrow, Mr. Percival said to Peter Sam. Peter Sam was delighted. Oh, thank you, sir, thank you. But what about Sir Handel? Will he get to help me out? Peter Sam said to Mr. Percival. Unfortunately, no, Peter Sam. He's busy helping out near where the incline is. However, we'll see if one of the other engines could help you with it, because it's a pretty tough train, Mr. Percival said to Peter Sam. Peter Sam still beamed from buffer to buffer. But Mr. Percival scolded severely to Duncan. Duncan, I heard about what you did at the transfer yard yesterday, about that flour going to Sir Topham Hatt. As a punishment, you don't get to take the party train tomorrow, and you'll be shunting in the transfer yards all day. Duncan felt very silly. But sir, I didn't mean to do it, said Duncan to Mr. Percival. Well, that doesn't matter, Duncan. You should have thought about that before causing that little bit of delay. Now, if you'll excuse me, said Mr. Percival, I need to get some sleep for my birthday tomorrow, Mr. Percival said, and he left. As Peter Sam fell happily asleep, Duncan thought to himself, I know that train is going to be tough. Maybe I could see if I could help Peter Sam out, to be a good friend, Duncan thought, as Duncan and Peter Sam went happily to sleep, along with Rheneas and Skarloey. That's when, early the next morning, in the cold light of dawn, Peter Sam woke up bright and early to collect Mr. Percival and the rest of the birthday train. Oh, today's his birthday, Peter Sam thought to himself. This is going to be an extra special train ride indeed, Peter Sam said, as Peter Sam puffed on his way to go and collect Mr. Percival. And so, that's when Peter Sam arrived at Mr. Percival's office. Mr. Percival was really impressed with Peter Sam. "Right on time, Peter Sam. I am really excited about my birthday today," Mr. Percival said to Peter Sam. "Oh, so am I. This party train is going to be extra special," Peter Sam said excitedly. And that's when Mr. Percival boarded the coach along with the extra special party supplies as as Peter Sam made his way to the picnic area for Mr. Percival's birthday. However, as Peter Sam was making good time on his way to the picnic area for Mr. Percival's party, there was trouble. Peter Sam had to come to a stop. There were massive rocks on the line. "Peter Sam," said Mr. Percival, "why have we stopped?" Sir," said Peter Sam a little nervously, "there's rocks on the line. I don't know if we'll make it to your party in time," Peter Sam said nervously. That's when Peter Sam's driver telephoned for help. However, while Peter Sam was stuck in front of the rocks while making his way to Mr. Percival's party, Duncan was in the transfer yards, shunting trucks properly into place. Duncan groaned. "Ugh, I can't believe that I'm shunting here when I should have been the one to take that special train. This is so unfair," Duncan said crossly. James laughed a little. "Well, Duncan, it does kind of serve you right. After all, those lines of trucks had flour that I had to take to Sir Topham Hatt, and you did get a little bit of it on my paintwork. But I do see that you're learning your lesson, though," James said to Duncan. Duncan smiled a little bit. "Oh, I suppose you're right, James," Duncan said. But before Duncan could finish, his driver had urgent news. "Duncan, Peter Sam is stuck on the line with Mr. Percival, and he was making his way to Mr. Percival's party. There's big rocks on the line. We have to help them," said Duncan's driver to Duncan. Duncan was shocked, but he knew what to do. "Oh dear, Peter Sam is stuck on the line with those big rocks. I have to help them. I know Peter Sam did tease me, but he's my friend. I have to help him," said Duncan. "That's my boy," said his driver, as Duncan puffed on his way to go help Peter Sam. However, on the other part of the narrow gauge railway where Peter Sam was stuck, Peter Sam was worried. "Oh, I hope Duncan comes soon. We're going to be late to your party if we don't," said Peter Sam to Mr. Percival. Peter Sam and Mr. Percival waited. When Duncan came into view, he could see the big rocks on the line. "Oh, I see what happened here. Don't worry, Peter Sam. I brought some workmen to help." And so, like that, all the rocks were soon cleared off of Peter Sam's part of the line. "Oh, thank you, Duncan. Thank you," he said. "Oh, no problem. That's a friends are for," Duncan said to Peter Sam. When Peter Sam knew he had something to say to Duncan. Peter Sam took a huge puff. "Duncan, I'm really sorry I teased you about you being a grumpy engine and saying that you shouldn't be the one to take the party train. I'm sorry. And can we pull the party train together?" Peter Sam said to Duncan. Duncan smiled at Peter Sam. "Oh, all is forgiven, Peter Sam. And after all, that's what friends are for. I'll be glad to help you with the party train," Duncan said to Peter Sam. And soon, that's when Duncan switched lines, buffered up behind Peter Sam, and the two friends set off to the picnic area for Mr. Percival's party. And so, that's when the two friends, Peter Sam and Duncan, made it to the picnic area just on time for Mr. Percival's party. Mr. Percival was really impressed. "Ah, Duncan, I am really proud of you this time, my friend. You not only helped out your friend Peter Sam, but you got us to my special party on time. And as a special treat, you'll get a new coat of paint first thing tomorrow morning," Mr. Percival proudly said to Duncan. Duncan beamed from buffer to buffer. "Oh, thank you, sir, thank you," he said. That's when Mr. Percival made a special announcement. "Since today is my party, let the party begin," Mr. Percival proudly announced. And so, the party began. It was one of the best parties the narrow gauge engines have ever had. And, in the end, Peter, Sam, and Duncan remained good friends indeed. Will Duncan take the party train again? That's another story.